Hi, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to welcome you all back to one of my YouTubes regarding my GCSE English tuition. I haven't posted for a while, so it's good to be back on posting. But today is a day where I want to share with you an innovation that I have created regarding learning, and a thing that has been sort of motivated in the last 2 years by nearly 3 years now, by the pandemic interrupting students' education. So I've been putting together revision guides during the pandemic, and recently I decided to start doing a whole package of resource creation with what I call a self-learning guide. And the self-learning guide is where I look at a subject area, in my case, English, and in this case, GCSE English Language is my first self-learning guide. And in this guide, it shows students of any age, and that includes adults as well, how to develop their knowledge of the GCSE English Language Paper 1 specification, in this case AQA. And the guide is very flexible. It's a guide that is produced that you can view it and just use it online just as a source to understand and to look at ideas, and it's in PDF format. But of course, it's also adapted so it can be used as a work booklet, so it can be printed off as well. So I'm going to show the guide and just talk it through, because you'll get the essence of what this is all about once I've got it up. Okay, so I'm going to share up that there and just come back here. And let's just go into it. So I'm just going to go into it now. I've gone to the end page of this, but in fact, what I need to do is just literally go all the way along to the start. So I'll just quickly scroll it through and talk about it. Now, it's a booklet. If you notice, as you go through it, you've got lined paper. So when it's printed off, you can write answers. It looks at this particular guide, looks at questions 1, 2, and 3, and you get extracts and you get areas you can work in it, etc., etc. So I'm just going to go all the way to the top of this guide. There's so much information in it, which is great, and that's what it's all about. It's about making sure that you have access to all the elements that I've put in this here. So you've got technology, you've got here, the terminology, for instance, for language there. You've got step-by-step guides. There are so many elements. Lesson 4, look, there are over 41 pages in this. And when you go through, it's a progressive development. So it starts off, obviously, with a lot of information, but then, so you get a cover page, and here we are, we're almost at the end. Sorry about taking the time on this. I meant to get it there. So it's called Adrian's Self-Learning Guide here, and it's now available in my shop. And it's copyrighted, of course, and it tells you about the information there, etc., etc. So it's something that is going to be very user-friendly. We talk about elements to it, that there's sometimes on these things, there'll be 6 lessons in each SLG. Well, on this one, because it's the initial one, I've done 8 lessons, which is really important, because if you look at them, you look at you get about English Language Paper 1 is lesson 1. So you need to learn about it. What does explicit and implicit mean? What does language mean? How does the right to use language? What is structure, part 1, part 2, practice questions 1, 2, and 3, practice questions 1, 2, and 3. And there's amazing sort of links at the very end. If I can just get to the very end, I want to show you that as a PDF file, if you keep it as PDF, you can then, the actual guide is supported from videos by me on teaching question 2 and question 3 in this particular guide, and you can go into those links there. So if I do that, you'll see it will then go into my YouTube there, and then there's a lesson on it. And if I go into here, you've got mark schemes. So look, if I go into that, it goes into the mark scheme that comes up here, and you can go into that. So as somebody who, you know, knows that a lot of parents are taking the responsibility for teaching children at the moment, this is a great opportunity in order to help your children to really benefit from something that is quite unique. And you need to go on my website to actually see what is available. And you know, at the end of the day, one of the things that you will find is that my previous guides, Adrian's Revision Secrets 1 and 2, are also worth getting, because they go over the whole specification of AQA Language Paper 1 and Paper 2 in those guides. And that's, you know, very little for those, but they're all in PDF. And as I said, they can be printed off and they can be used as and when. And each lesson, in the first guide, there's 8 lessons. And it shows that you could have 8 hours of work. So even if you did 1 hour a week, that would be supporting what the school is doing, or if you're doing a mixture between school and home, or if you're home ed, you can set your own agenda. So it's a very popular thing that will literally take off. So look, it's been a while, as I said, since I posted, but please, I've developed this. It takes quite a long time to put all this together, but I'm ready for people to get this opportunity and to use it, because it is something very different. And I'm welcome feedback how it works. And after this first guide, which is it's called an SLG, self-learning guide. This is self-learning guide 1, and in the English language paper 1, there will be another 3 SLGs. And so in English language paper 2, there'll be another 4. So, you know, we're talking about 8 hours in each of them. So if you eventually get 8 guides, you're doing 64 hours of work. Now, obviously, I'm a tutor as well. So I have students that have me one-to-one, but this is a much more affordable option, and it gives you a chance to have contact with me as well. So if there's any questions you have on the PDF and in all the guides, there'll always be a contact where you can get in touch with me and ask a question. So look, it's not just a guide that's printed off and then used and disposed. It can be reusable, because once you've got it, you can download it and you can save it and you can use it again. Anyway, that's it for today. And I hope this is of benefit to you. And I hope that we're in touch soon and to see feedback.